she was coming from. It was like
To be honest, you don't have a business, you don't own a business. When you do throw a line and a launch of your own, not somebody else's business.
I have a business of my own. Thank you very much.
When you have a business of
I have a business of my own. Thank you very much.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss The Real Housewives of Dubai, Season 2, Episode 12. And before we get into it, let me just say, Brooks, you're reaching, because I don't understand how you have the audacity to say that Lesa should have used your salon when the gag is you did not even invite Lesa or Ayan to your spa's grand opening. So how does that work? And you're coming off as a woman who doesn't want to see other women succeed. Now, this was definitely one of the better episodes of the season. We know that next Tuesday is the finale episode, and I'm happy that we got a fairly short season. I feel like we did not need to drag things on, so 13 episodes for Dubai sounds about right. And before you ask, I will be touching on the dissolution of Chanel Ayan and Lesa Milan's friendship, and I'm curious to see how this reunion goes since they've been on the outs now for over a year. But without further ado, let's just jump right on into it because you guys already know that we don't have a minute to spare. So we start off the episode with some short scenes. We see Lesa inviting all the ladies to her Mina Row event in the group chat. Then we flip over to Ayan doing some TikTok dances with her son. And now we jump to Caroline Stanbury at home. And we see her with her husband Sergio, because one thing about it, Sergio is going to be in every single scene with Caroline Stanbury. Like I said before, somebody give him a tagline because he's on this show just as much as Caroline is. But anyhow, they're at home and we see that Caroline Stanbury has her parents over. So she says that her parents are in town for her son's bar mitzvahs. Now, when they showed us the footage of the bar mitzvah, it looked amazing. Now, you guys know I'm from New York. I grew up with quite a few Jewish friends, and I've been to quite a few bar mitzvahs, and they're always an amazing time. And the food is always chef's kiss, okay? So I know that Caroline Stanbury spent a good coin on both of her sons because we know that Caroline Stanbury does not do anything halfway. Now, I remember Caroline Stanbury when she was on Ladies of London, so I knew that she was Jewish, but we find out even more that her dad and his family are Jewish and her mom is not. And I know I've said this quite a few times, but Caroline Stanbury this season has been a breath of fresh air. I never thought I would say that because if you watch Ladies of London, you remember how cold she was. She just loved how all the women kissed up to her. She was very rude. And then last season of Dubai, she wasn't the warmest either. But this season, it's been a complete 180. We're seeing another side to her, a softer side. I'm liking her a whole lot. And again, I never thought that I would say that about Caroline Stanbury, but here we are. So now we see Sergio and Caroline's dad get up, they go outside, and now it's just Caroline Stanbury and her mom talking. So Caroline Stanbury lets her mom know that she's been seeing a hypnotherapist and she's realized that she's not soft. So anyhow, Caroline Stanbury brings up how her hypnotherapist has been bringing up her memories of boarding school. So her mom's just like, oh wow, really? And I said, well, damn. Can the mom show more emotion than that? And it's no shade, but all throughout this conversation, I was getting annoyed with how stiff her mom is. I said, I see why Stanbury is the way she is because her mom is super cold. And not to get off on a tangent, but I always get sad when I see that in family dynamics because I grew up in a very affectionate home. I'm very affectionate, and the day that I have children, they'll be showered in kisses and hugs and I love yous. Like, I can't even get off the phone with one of my siblings or my mom without saying I love you at the end of the call. You know what I'm saying? So seeing the dynamic between Caroline Stanbury and her mother, you can feel the coldness between the both of them. So anyhow, Stanbury continues on by saying that going to boarding school is outdated, it's unnatural. So her mom cuts her off immediately and she says, well, those were the times, that's just what people did. Then she goes on to add how boarding school teaches you independence, discipline, and all about relationships. And Stanberry says, oh no, it might teach you independence and discipline, but when it comes to relationships, I beg to differ. It does not help with that. That's why I have issues now connecting with my husband and my kids. So she goes on to say that it stifled her and how she's not comfortable sharing her problems with other people. So now her mom says, well, you shouldn't do that anyway. You should figure it out. Now, I will say this. That's the only thing I'll agree with when it comes to her mom. I don't really believe in sharing my issues with other people because a lot of times your so-called friends enjoy when you have issues. And I don't mean to sound paranoid, but I'm one of those people where never let people see you sweat. If you ask me how I'm doing, I'm great. Life is perfect. I don't have a care in the world. And I'll tell you the real tea once I've gotten over the issue. But when I'm going through something, everything is great. I'm just fine. I look good. I feel good. There's nothing wrong. So I do agree about that because most times people can't really help you with your issues anyway. And if they can help you, they'll choose not to. Again, I don't mean to go off on that, but I do agree not sharing your problems with people. When I tell you guys I'm a move in silence girl when it comes to damn near everything. But anyhow, I digress. So Stanberry continues on by saying that she's such an insular person, so it's hard to open up to people. And her mom at this point is just sitting there. And one thing that I cannot stand are parents who cannot and will not apologize to their kids. Y'all, I don't mean to get too deep in this, but growing up, my parents apologized to us if they were too harsh or if they did something wrong. And I was also the type of child where I had to hear it. So my parents couldn't get away with, saying, oh, do you want to go to McDonald's or can I buy you a treat? No, like I was going to get that, but I was also going to get that apology too. Okay, no, I was going to hear it. But her mom was just sitting there looking at her like, okay, girl, get over it. You're fine. You're still rich. You had a good life. I don't want to hear it. And even Stanberry gave up the fight because she even says in her confessional, what am I going to do? Punish my parents forever? And I said, it's not about punishing people. It's just that you deserve an apology. And just because they're your parents, that does not make them exempt from saying, I screwed up, I'm sorry. And I think that you deserve that. Just my humble opinion, just my 2 cents. But I really did feel for Stanberry in that scene because you could tell that she had to make peace with not receiving an apology that she should be getting. So now they change topics and Stanberry brings up the idea of having another child. She says that they still have an embryo and Sergio really wants to have a baby, but she's on the fence. Now, the way I was screaming when her mom fixed her lips to say, well, think about that because it's a lot of work. And I said, now, what would you know about child rearing being a lot of work when you sent your daughter away to boarding school when she was 5 or 6? The minute she was able to walk and talk and feed herself, you said, okay, bye. So what would you know about it's a lot of work? So Stanberry says, I know, but I don't want to have regrets about not having a baby for Sergio. And honestly, I won't be surprised if Stanberry caves in and has a 4th child with Sergio, because as much as Stanberry acts like she could take Sergio or leave him, and if he walked out the door tomorrow, she wouldn't care, I do think she would be a bit hurt. I won't be surprised if we find out within the next year or so that she's pregnant. So now we get to the big day of Lesa Milan's Mina Rowe spa event. So it's at the Heart and Soul Spa, and mind you, it's heavily branded with her logo, Mina Rowe. And that's normal when it's a PR branded event, but again, we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. So now we see Ayan arrive, and Ayan, it's no shade, sis, but as a lover of braids, okay? I love braids, it's no secret. 95% of the time, my hair is in some gorgeous knotless box braids, all right. But I take offense when I see a slapped on braided wig that looks a fool. And Ayan, you're a beautiful woman, but please do not ever wear that braided wig again, because that did you no favors. I said, no ma'am. It high-key reminded me of when Karen Huger from Potomac wore that messed up braided wig when they were in New Orleans. We all said, girl, what is that? Don't ever do that again. Burn it. So Ayan, I have the same advice for you. Don't ever wear that again, and please burn that. So Ayan receives her gift bag, and she jokes around. She's like, oh, are you paying? Because I want a massage. So Lisa's like, yeah, girl, get your massage, because it's all on me, so treat yourself. It's going to be a fun time. Now, I forgot to mention, this Mina Rowe event is for Lesa's skincare line. So she says that it's been 2 years in the making, and she's excited to launch it because she wants Mina Rowe to be a part of every aspect of the motherhood journey, including skincare. So now we see Taleen arrive, and Taleen is in good spirits. She's excited because Lesa reached out to her and asked if she would be a part of her event today. So she's going to be doing the yoga portion at Lesa's event. So now we see Caroline Stanberry and Caroline Brooks arrive, and already you could tell that Brooks had a bit of an attitude, but she's trying to seem nice and pleasant, but it's all in those eyes. You can just tell that something has already pissed her off, and we find out later on. So now we see Sarah and Saba arrive, and we're going to talk about this more, but I think it's so funny seeing Sarah and Saba together on screen when present day, they're no longer friends. But anyhow, we see Sarah in her confessional, and she says that she goes to Heart and Soul Spa all the time, but seeing Mina Rowe plastered everywhere, she forgot that it was Heart and Soul because it's so heavily branded with Lesa's logo. And now Sarah adds that that's just how Lesa is. She's over the top. Now, I'm confused because if you've ever been to a PR branded event, you know that the logo is slapped everywhere. That's not uncommon. It just feels like some of these women always want to find fault with every single thing that certain cast members do. Because again, explain to me why you guys are making a big deal about Lesa having her logo branded everywhere at the event. And let's not forget that Lesa paid to shut the spa down for a few hours for her event. So when you pay, you're allowed to plaster your brand everywhere because you paid for it. I've said this before, but there's something very disingenuous about Sarah. I'm just not buying this whole spiritual healing journey. I honestly feel like Sarah is low-key a mean girl, very self-righteous, very judgmental. And on top of that, she likes to throw some shade, but she does it under the guise of she's just telling the truth. So now we see everybody changed, and now it's time for some yoga. So we see Brooks in her confessional throwing shade because that's what she does best. So she says, I'm so confused. What does skincare have to do with yoga? Then she goes on to ask, why does the Heart and Soul Spa look like Mina Rowe bought the building? I'm the one who owns an effing spa. So now she says that leave it to Lesa to do the most. Now when Brooke said that, I already knew that she was going to wear me out this entire episode, and that she did. Brooks, you claim that you're this successful businesswoman. You, of all people, should know what a PR branded event looks like. Lesa is not trying to act like she owns the spa. It's her event. She rented out this spa for a few hours, and because she paid for it, they have allowed her to plaster her brand all over. That's how it works. She's not trying to act as if she owns the spa. How is Brooks not tired of trying to find an issue out of everything? So now they're finished with yoga, and now we see everybody split off into different rooms to get their services done. Because remember, it's a spa day, they're getting massages. So now we see Lesa and Ayan in a separate room, and they're just talking. So Lesa starts off the conversation and she says, I see you pulling away from me and getting closer to that one. Now, she's obviously referring to Caroline Stanberry. So Ayan's joking around. She's like, oh, yes, I have. And now Lesa goes on to ask her, haven't you learned your lesson? isn't she the reason why we're having problems? So Ayan says that she honestly feels like Caroline Stanberry was genuine when they were at Polo a few days ago. She apologized to her, and she does want to give her a chance. So now Ayan says that her fight with Lesa took a toll on her, and she also feels like she's in the middle of Lesa and Caroline Stanberry. Now, let me just stop right here because I want to make several points. When it comes to the whole Lesa and Ayan fight, I think that Ayan was dead ass wrong. Because Ayan, you had no right and you had no business revealing the voice note that Lesa sent you. Let's all be so honest right now. We all know that we have that one person that we gossip with. Whether it's your mom, your dad, an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, a friend, a sibling. There's that one person that you know you can go and tell, like, girl, she pissed me off, he pissed me off, I can't stand her. Let me tell you the tea about what went down at this event that I went to, and you know that they will not say anything. Lesa and Ayan have always said that they're like sisters, they're best friends, they've known each other for, 8 or 9 years, almost a decade. Ayan sharing that voice note with Stanberry and Taleen was a violation of trust. And Lesa, in my humble opinion, had every right to be pissed. I think that Ayan is a bit immature, and she's one of those people who can't acknowledge when she's wrong. Because the fact that she was angry at Lesa for being mad at her, I said, girl, you're crazy. You're delusional because you were dead ass wrong. I always felt like Ayan has craved Stanberry's validation since day one. And her sharing that voice note with Stanberry, that was her way to say, hey girl, I want to be in your inner circle. We're like this now, so let me give you guys the tea. Not knowing that Stanberry had her own agenda and was going to reveal it at that dinner, which put Ayan in the worst place. But Ayan, you messed up, and you need to take that L on the chin and just own up to it and say, I'm sorry. And while people do feel like Lesa is also at fault, she should not have shared the voice note, I agree with that to an extent, but my only thing is, she sent that voice note to somebody who she considered a best friend who would never violate her trust like that. It wasn't like she sent the voice note to a casual acquaintance or somebody who she considers a friend. You know what I'm saying? Ayan is like her sister. So I understand why she sent it. Because it's like, okay, girl, you know that we can tell each other anything. I know you won't tell. So I get why she was pissed. Because why would you do that? This is not me putting on a cape for Stanberry, but I'm just not going to sit up here and let Lesa and Ayan blame Stanberry for the rift in their friendship. The rift is really due to Ayan's actions for betraying Lesa's trust, period. Now, Ayan, I thought it was comical when you said that just because you feel like you're in the middle of Lesa and Stanberry, you feel like Lesa needs to relax because you're a loyal friend. And I said, now, girl, I wouldn't say all that because the way you betrayed her trust, sharing that voice note, that was not loyalty, but I digress. So now Lesa says that she never wants her and Ayan to ever get to that point ever again. And then she admits that she's jealous of Ayan and Stanberry's friendship. And you have Ayan laughing like it's the funniest thing. If we're being honest, I think that Ayan loves this whole thing of you feeling jealous that she's getting closer to Stanberry. She likes that. People get off on stuff like that. Another reason why I feel like friendship trios don't work because there's always that BS where somebody's in the middle and they feel like the other two are vying for their attention. No, ma'am. Absolutely not. I'm so sorry. I will never give anybody that satisfaction. And I feel like, Lesa, you took an L by saying that you feel jealous of Ayan getting closer to Stanberry. All that's going to do is push Ayan further into Stanberry's arms. You got to use reverse psychology, sis, because again, don't say that. Don't go out sad like that. And throughout these last few episodes, since they came back from Bali, you can look at them and see that their friendship has still taken a hit. They still aren't good after that fight. Even this scene with them in the room, there's still some lingering tension. So knowing that they're not friends present day, I'm not surprised. If you join these shows with your real life friends, I really think that you need to go into this almost expecting that you guys will probably fall out and will not be friends anymore, because the dynamics that these shows create, it's damn near impossible to keep a real friendship. All the competition about who's going to be the star, then you have alliances, then you're getting close to this person and your friend doesn't like that person. It's a recipe for disaster. Honestly speaking, the only friendship that's withstood the pressures of reality TV, especially on Housewives, I would say Giselle and Robin. So here's where things really pop off, and Brooks continues to put her foot in her mouth and just be a Debbie Downer because, like I've always said, some people just can't help themselves. So we see that Brooks, Taleen, and Stanberry are in the room. Taleen and Stanberry are getting massages. Brooks is not, because of course, she can't just be a happy camper and participate. Since she has a spa, she's not trying to partake in any of the services here. So now Taleen goes on to ask, how much do you think Lesa spent to rent this whole spa out? So now Brooks interjects and says, well, I would have given her my place to use for free. Now I said, Brooks, you can sit up here and lie to them, but you will not lie to us. You are very money hungry, and we know good and damn well that you would not let Lesa use your spa for free. You would have charged her. You probably would have charged her more than this spa charged her, because that's just who you are. So now Stanberry lifts her head up and she's like, wait, why aren't we at your spa? Did she even ask you? So now Brooke says, nope, Lesa did not reach out to me. And now Taleen says, well, she should be supporting your business the way you support other people's businesses. And I said, now Taleen, if I were you, I would stay out of this. This does not involve you in the least bit. Sit there and just enjoy your massage. So Brooks goes on to say that she supports everybody and she loves to see other women thriving. And I said, oh, really? You do? Because you don't act like it. From where I'm sitting, there's always shade being thrown, the same way you threw shade at Ayan's beauty launch. I don't want to hear how you support other women because your actions clearly show that that's not the case. So now Caroline Brooks makes this all about her. She's whining about how this is offensive to her and why would Lesa brand the whole spa to act like she owns the building when she doesn't, and she's the only one in this group who actually owns a multi-million-dollar spa. I said, for the love of God, shut up. This is not about you. And like I mentioned in the first half of this recap, you did not invite Lesa or Ayan to your spa's grand opening. You and Lesa are not friends like that. You guys are cordial at best. Social acquaintances, hi, bye, hey girl, what's up, and keep it moving. I'm completely blown as to why you feel so entitled to Lesa calling you up to use your spa. When you do clownery, the clown comes back to bite. Because I know that if you had some grand opening for your business and I don't get an invite, please know that I'm not promoting your business in any shape, way, or form. So now we end the scene with Stanberry suggesting that Brooks go and talk to Lesa about this whole situation, and Brooks says, I plan on it. Now again, in my opinion, Brooks does not have a leg to stand on. She did not invite Lesa to her grand opening for her spa, so Lesa does not owe her any loyalty when it comes to using her spa for her brand event. Brooks is reaching for a moment because she has no real storyline. Now, I'm not going to hold you guys, but I don't have a lot to say about this next scene with Sarah and Saba meeting up for dinner, and we see Sarah is crying about the drama that's going on in her fake relationship with Akeem. I'm just not interested, knowing that Sarah and Saba are no longer friends and Sarah and Akeem are no longer together. I don't have much to say. But I will say, shout out to Saba, because she was giving some quality advice that every woman needs to listen to when she said, you need to date on your level, and Akeem is not on Sarah's level, and that's why they're having so many issues. And I said, Saba, say it again, because you've always heard me say that women who date or marry down it's 9 times out of 10 a recipe for disaster. So when Saba was getting to the root of why does Sarah feel like she has to settle for men, and when Sarah said, oh, I feel like I can't walk away from people, I want to help people, and Saba said, girl, you are not God. You need to help yourself out first. But Saba was definitely giving some grade A advice. So now it's the day of Taleen and Rafi's golf trip, and we see that 2 days ago, Taleen invited everybody to an overnight staycation to play golf. And everybody's invited, including all the husbands. So Taleen says that staycations are a big deal in Dubai because they have fabulous hotels, including 2 7-star hotels. And if you've been watching me for quite some time, you know that I am a hotel girl. Like, give me a 5-star hotel any day, a Ritz-Carlton, a St. Regis, a Four Seasons.
I love it. I love it.
So hearing that there are 7-star hotels in Dubai, best believe when I go to Dubai, I will be staying in one of those. So now we see everybody in the lobby. Taleen and Rafi are giving them their room keys, and they let them know that I think at 2 or 3 p.m. that it's going to be time for them to come down and play some golf. So everybody's excited. They go up to their rooms, and the rooms were gorgeous. And now we see Brooks arrive because we know that 9 times out of 10, Brooks is always late. So now we cut to her confessional, and she says, sorry I'm late. I was actually working at the salon that I actually own. Then she starts laughing, and no offense, but Brooks sounded and looked like a true maniac when she started cackling like that. I said, are you okay? It wasn't that funny. Actually, it wasn't funny at all. So now she says, step your money up, Lesa Milan. And I said, oh my gosh, you're this bent out of shape over the fact that Lesa did not choose your salon? So now it's time for everybody to play golf. They're on the golf course. And Ayan, what was this outfit? I'm not trying to be funny, but a lot of Ayan's outfits come off as Halloween costumes. And she's a beautiful woman, but the outfits 8 times out of 10 are not giving what she thinks they're giving. A lot of times it feels like Phaedra said, it's giving quinceañera.
You know what? This is bad.
And even Stanberry clocked it. She said, what in the Swan Lake hell is this? Aren't you hot? It's 110 degrees out here. Why are you wearing this? Again, Ayan, I'ma need you to step it up with the clothes, mama, because some of these outfits are a miss. So as everybody's enjoying themselves playing golf, we see Taleen and Lesa off to the side, and they're talking about Lesa's event. So Lesa's asking if Taleen had a good time the other day, and Taleen says, yeah, it was great. So now the conversation changes gears, and Lesa is trying to fish for information in regards to Brooks. She says, it came to my attention that Brooks was complaining about something, and Taleen is like, look, I'm not trying to get involved in this, but I do think that you should talk to Brooks when you get the chance, because she does have a salon and a spa, and maybe you could have asked her about using her space. So Lesa's like, wait, what? So Taleen says, look, I don't want to misquote anybody. I suggest that you talk to Brooks directly and ask her what's up. So now we cut to Lesa in her confessional, and Lesa says that when she closed out her bill at the spa, the employees told her that Brooks denied all the services because she has her own spa. So she's going to definitely go to Brooks and ask her what was up. Now, I said one thing about it. Brooks is going to always find a way to bring the mood down. The fact that she was so petty to turn down the services, are you serious right now? I just feel like Brooks goes out of her way to make problems. So now we see the ladies leave the guys on the golf course, and they go off to the rooftop to get some drinks and cool off. So while they're ordering drinks, they're just joking around, having fun. And Saba says, oh, Lesa, by the way, how was the rest of your spa day? What happened after? So because she brought that up, you already know that things are about to go left. So Lesa says, well, first off, thank you guys so much for coming. I appreciate that. Then she turns to Brooks and she says, Brooks, it's come to my attention that you're offended by something. Like, what's going on? Girl, let me know because I'm lost. So Brooks cops to it and she says, well, yeah, I was offended because you had your event at Heart and Soul when I have a spa that offers the same services. So that's why I declined all the services, because it's a conflict of interest because I have my own spa. I said, okay, Brooks. I said, oh my gosh, this woman finds fault with every single thing. Now it's a conflict of interest. Brooks is so irritating. And now Brooks goes on to say that Lesa branded the spa like she owned it. And I said, that's what you're supposed to do when you're having a branded event promoting your brand. And let's not forget the fact that Lesa paid to do this. It's not like she asked this spa to do that for her for free. She paid. So therefore, when you pay, you're allowed to place your brand's logo wherever you want to because you paid the money. So Lesa says, look, Brooks, when I planned this event, I was not thinking about you or your spa, and I'm sorry if you felt like I was trying to hurt you. That wasn't my intention. Now, Lesa, you didn't do anything wrong. So I don't know why you're offering up an apology, because you had every right to choose another spa that wasn't Caroline Brooks. And why are we forgetting the fact that Brooks did not even invite you to her salon's grand opening? So how hurt can she be about you choosing another spa that's not hers when she didn't even have the courtesy to invite you, because she said, I only wanted people who I considered good friends there. So again, you don't owe her any loyalty when it comes to choosing her spa over someone else's spa. Brooks is entitled, delusional, and miserable, and there would be no apology coming from me, because I didn't do anything wrong. Where's my apology for not inviting me to your grand opening in the first place? Let's talk about that. So now Brooke starts going off about how heavily branded the entire spa was. And now Taleen jumps in co-signing about how Mina Rowe was branded in the entrance and it was all over the place. Now I said, Taleen, just 20 minutes ago on the golf course, you were saying, I don't want to be involved. Talk to Brooks about it, and now we see you jumping in for what? And I said again, Taleen, sit there and mind your business. Don't get involved, because we see that you were ill-prepared when Lesa got on you later on. So they keep harping on the fact that Mina Rowe was everywhere, and now Lesa yells, because I paid for it. And I said, exactly. So Lesa continues on by saying that last year, the ladies came for her business, and now this year, they're trying to find fault with her perfect event that had no issues. She goes on to add that she believes they're jealous of her, and I can see that with Caroline Brooks being envious. I think that Brooks is somebody who doesn't want to see anybody succeed. So I definitely think that Brooks is somebody who wants to poke holes at whatever people have going on, especially if she feels threatened. And I do feel like she felt threatened by Lesa at the spa event. It also screams insecurity and envy that Lesa is getting a lot of promotion for her event on TV, and we've barely seen the glass house featured. We saw it featured, what, maybe 1 or 2 times this season? So I think that's where the envy lies, that Lesa got all this screen time promoting her brand, and we barely see the glass house. So now Ayan jumps in to defend Lesa, and she's like, Lesa can do what she wants. So now Taleen says, I'm not coming for anybody, but after Lesa's event, I got a call from Brooks. She was freaking out, so I had to say something. And then she turns to Lesa and says, I was just telling you where Brooks was coming from. So now we see Lesa and Taleen get into it. And Lesa's like, Taleen, you don't even have a business, just be quiet. And Taleen says, girl, I do have a business, don't start. So they're going back and forth, and Stanberry had me screaming. She's like, I don't want any parts of this. She gets up, goes to the bar, and orders another champagne. I said, exactly. Because for once, she's not involved in any drama, and she's trying to keep it that way. I said, I know that's right. So Lesa and Taleen are still going at it, and Lesa's like, don't point at me, And Taleen says, oh, so it's okay for you to point at me? And now Lesa snaps and says, you can't go to a Mina Rowe event and not expect to see Mina Rowe everywhere. Now, was it just me, but did it feel like Lesa had more smoke for Taleen than she did for Brooks? Because personally, I would have been angrier at Caroline over Taleen. That was just me. While I still stand by Taleen should have kept her mouth shut, I do feel like Lesa went a bit overboard when she just started yelling at Taleen the way she did. Maybe I'm off base. Let me know what you guys thought. But I honestly feel like Lesa should have had more smoke for Brooks versus yelling at Taleen the way she did. But Taleen, let this be a lesson. When people are arguing, don't get involved. Just stay out of it. The same way Stanberry said, I'm on mute, I'm going to have another glass of champagne. Follow suit and do the same thing. And honestly, Lesa, this whole argument is so dumb. You did nothing wrong heavily branding your event. So I would have paid Brooks, Taleen, and whoever else had something slick to say, I would have paid them all dust. So now we see everybody in their rooms getting ready for dinner, and Lesa is telling Rich all about what took place at the rooftop and how she got into it with Taleen because Taleen made a snide remark saying that her event felt like a Mina Rowe spa. So she says the one thing that she cannot stand about Taleen is Taleen always having to chime in. And now we cut to Taleen in her room, and she's telling Rafi all the drama. She says, I did jump in, but I'm not trying to have any issues with Lesa, and I do want to clear this up. And Rafi, he's not trying to have any more drama, especially after what went down at Stanberry's housewarming party with Brooks. So he's like, yeah, you need to clear this up and just bite the bullet, take one for the team tonight, because we all want to have a good dinner. And we see Stanberry telling Sergio all about the drama, and she says, it's the first time I wasn't involved in any of the drama, and I am living for it. So now it's time for the big group dinner. Everybody arrives at the restaurant, and now we see Sarah started off by saying that they should play a game with the husbands, asking how well do the husbands know their wives. Now, a quick side note, half of this group is married, the other half is single. Can we please find a game that's inclusive, that everybody can join in on? Because I don't think that that's fun. But they go around the table asking the couples questions. Do the husbands remember their wives' childhood nicknames? Now, Sergio had me screaming with the shade that he threw. He said, I don't know, I wasn't even alive. And now the last question is, how long do the wives want sex to last? Honestly, I kind of zoned out during this part, so I forgot all their answers, to be honest with you. Again, can we please come up with some better games? So Brooks and Ayan are sitting next to each other. So Ayan turns to Brooks and she's like, girl, what was all that about earlier? Because I'm confused. So Brooks says, all I was saying is that I don't support other spas because I have a spa myself. That's my business, that's my niche. Lesa understands, what don't you understand? So I already knew when Brooks said that in that tone, that it was about to go left. So Ayan says, well, if I'm being honest, it's giving jealousy. And Brooks is pissed. She's like, it is not jealousy. There is no jealousy on my end. And I said, again, Brooks, are you sure? So Brooks and Ayan are going back and forth. And now Brooks calls out to Lesa. So already I know that this entire dinner is about to go south because they're about to rehash the drama from earlier. And we already know that Lesa is still pissed about what was said on the rooftop a few hours ago. So Brooks says, Lesa, I've always supported you from fashion shows to anything. So you have Ayan still saying, it's giving jealousy, it feels like jealousy. So Lesa says to Ayan, you'd be correct in your sentiments because I feel the same way. So Brooks is like, no, it's not jealousy. And the way Lesa had everybody, especially Brooks, gagged when she revealed that Brooks also uses outside services, I said, oh, please, whack her again.
I'm just scoot on over and let you whack him. Get him again. Get him for me.
So So Lesa goes on to say, girl, don't play, because we all know that you hire black people to come in and do your hair at your salon. You hire African women to come in and do your wigs. And please stop pretending like you don't use outside services, because you surely do. So now you have Brooke stuttering, and I said, speak up now, sis. You had all that mouth in your confessional, and now that Lesa has called you out, now it's crickets. So you have Brooks trying to bring Taleen into it, and Taleen's like, look, girl, I already got my ass handed to me on the rooftop. I'm not trying to go back for round 2. Leave me out of it. It's not my place to say anything. Just leave me out of this. So now you have Brooks reluctantly copping to it, and she says that she's had the same glam squad since her son Adam was 4 years old, and it's ridiculous for anybody to expect her to drop them just because she owns a multi-million-dollar business. Brooks had mentioned that it was a multi-million-dollar business several times throughout this episode, and it was very off-putting. Who are you trying to convince? Yourself or us? Because you constantly saying that, it's now putting doubts in my mind about how successful your business actually is. Because when you actually are that girl, when you actually have it like that, you don't need to say it. So now Brooks gets real shady in her confessional, and she says, are you mad that you don't own your own salon, bitch? Are you mad that you still have to wash your hair in your kitchen sink? And I said, are you okay? Are you okay, Brooks? I'm so serious. Like, what is going on? And we all know that Lesa has money, so I'm pretty sure that Lesa has a hair salon that she goes to. That wasn't the read that you thought it was. Brooks gets more and more insufferable as the episodes go on. I'm like, my God. So Lesa makes a great point, and she asks a question that we all want to know. She says, is this really about me not using Glass House, or is it that you're a hater? And I said, I'll take hater for 500, Alex, because Brooks is the epitome of a hater, somebody who does not want to see other people succeed and do well. She wants to be the only one. So now Brooks tries to bring Taleen into this whole argument yet again, and she says, Taleen, have you ever seen me use anybody else? Taleen says, no, I haven't, but she makes it clear that she's not trying to get involved in this fight because she got called a bitch one too many times this afternoon. So now Lesa jumps in and says, because you were acting like one, Taleen, and you were doing all this with your hands. Now, Lesa, hear me out. It's no shade. I'm giving you my honest opinion. I thought that you did go a little too hard on Taleen at the rooftop. I feel like you should have had this energy for Brooks, in my opinion. Then at the end of this episode, I also felt like you were doing a lot at this dinner. I understand that you were upset that Taleen chimed in. I get it. Because I said that Taleen should have kept her mouth shut, but I do feel like your reaction was a bit over the top. And also, Lesa, when you guys were on the rooftop going back and forth, you were also loud too. So to act like it was just Taleen with a raised voice, that's not true. And I have to be fair, I have to call a spade, but you were just as loud. And Taleen even said, I love how you forget when you're loud, but you want to call me out. So Lesa goes on to say that she was matching energy, and then she says that Taleen jumped into something that did not involve her and that she wasn't qualified to speak on. So now Taleen calls Lesa trashy, and Lesa's like, oh no, girl, you will not call me trashy. She calls Taleen ghetto, and then she says, the audacity of you to even think that you could speak on my business. And the way Lesa would have kept going had her husband Rich not intervened. So now we cut to Ayan's confessional, and she says that yes, Taleen can be a bitch, but Lesa is doing too much. Then she goes on to say that she wants to tell Lesa to calm down, but she's not the type to embarrass her friends in front of other people. The dinner is obviously over. Everybody's mood has soured because of what just took place, and that's where the episode ends. Now we see that next week is the finale, and Ayan and Lesa get into it, and it looks like that's the straw that broke the camel's back, which led to their friendship breakup, because we do see Ayan saying to Lesa that she no longer wants to be friends with her, and something tells me that this argument between Lesa and Taleen has something to do with Ayan and Lisa's fallout. Because with Ayan saying at the end that Lesa needs to calm down, I'm wondering, does Ayan address Lesa about this in the next episode and then Lesa gets angry and that's where the disconnect happens? I don't know. Just my theory. I honestly feel like their friendship never recovered after what happened in Bali. And from there, everything has just gone wrong. And that's why they no longer speak till this day. But y'all, that was my recap. Again, this was one of Dubai's best episodes to date. And I'm actually excited for the finale. I can't wait to see what it gives. But y'all, thank you again for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And you already know what to do. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all later. Bye.